Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Getting ready to board my flight.
Oh, nice. Well, I was just calling you because I am looking at the photos from the photo shoot that we did in LA. I'm staring at a beautiful man out the window right now. I love watching Eric. He has an incredible body. Like, his ass is on fire. He has an amazing six-pack. Just everything. He's so hot.
And then, I mean, the fall collection of Eric. We pop up a little tin and we have like lemonade and maybe alcoholic beverages. And girls get drunk and buy some clothes.
Yeah. Well, have a good flight, Jess. I love you.
Wait,
Bye.
no.
Hey, Eric. Oh, my God.
So we have, I mean, so much going on, so much to discuss. We've got a new album out today. We have a fashion line, hair care products, obviously the show. I think let's start with the show. It's obviously like we just got this peak. You guys just like let it all hang out.
Yeah, we do.
Did you have a discussion? I mean, you did a couple seasons a few years back and then coming back. Did you ever have that discussion? You're like, if we're gonna do it, we need to like not try and perform for the cameras. We have to just kind of be ourselves.
We honestly didn't even have that discussion. We just kind of I don't know. I feel like any of my fans or anyone that's ever met me in person knows like what you're seeing on TV is like what you get. I mean, my friends will even tell you that. Like there's nothing I'm doing to hide or be any different. And there was no discussions with Eric. We were just like, all right, cameras rolling. Let's just continue on with what we were already doing.
Have there been any moments where after they filmed, you're like, oh, I maybe shouldn't have done that?
Yes, actually. It was episode 2.
Okay.
There's a scene. Y'all, I can't breathe anymore. Things have changed. As you know, I'm like, oh. There's a scene of me sipping coffee super annoyingly and bringing it to Eric in bed in New Jersey. And we do have a very inappropriate discussion. And it was just too much, in my opinion. I probably would have left it in there season 1 and 2. But I'm like, if Vivi's going to look back on this one day, like, I can't, like, that was too much. Like, y'all got to take it out. And the network was like, please leave it. I was like, no, we're taking that out. So it was a little too far.
It is kind of cool to think that your children will get to have these snapshots of both when they were little and also when mom and dad were like so young and kind of like figuring stuff out in some way.
For sure. And Vivi will learn it when she's like 25 that her mom's got a mouth in her, but she just doesn't need to know anytime soon. I'm still myself and I still talk like that with my girlfriends or with Eric. He knows the mouth I have on me, but she's watching this with us. So it's like, let's just tone it down a little bit.
There was a little bit of a break between seasons 1 and 2 and now. What was the discussion about this being another right time where you guys wanted to sort of show everything again?
Yeah, so in my mind, I know it sounds terrible, but I was like, I'm never doing it again. I'm not doing it again. And it wasn't because I didn't enjoy doing it. It was just because I had kids and I had 2 infants pretty much back to back. Viv and Bubs are like 17 and a half months apart. So they were little babies. And I'm like, looking at these little infants, like I'm not gonna be focused on show business in that world right now. Like my focus needs to be here. Like they're babies and I want to breastfeed them and I want to just focus on this. So and my mind just wasn't there. So anytime people would ask, I'd be like, no. But I think because we got to such a comfortable place in our lives, everything felt more stable, that I felt more comfortable doing it. And I think because I started hearing all of these stories, I started getting emails or people stopping me at church saying, like, my son passed away a year ago, and your show is the only thing that puts a smile on my face. Or someone going through chemo saying, I watch reruns at the hospital, and it's all I can do to distract myself. So it just made me sit there and go, if our show is bringing happiness to people, and it's not hurting anyone, and it's making them feel good, then, like, why not? We should think about those people,
This maybe sort of answered this question, but we do see how busy both of you guys are on the show. How do you know when things are getting too far out of balance? How do you get things back in balance? How do you guys just sort of handle that?
Like when the cameras stop rolling?
Yeah, or when they're going. I mean, you guys have so many projects going on. We see you sort of hosting things and then doing kittenish things and doing like bless your hair things, and the list goes
Yeah.
on and on and on.
It's a lot. It really is a lot. I try to balance it as much as possible. And with the show, I wanted to showcase all the things that I'm doing because I am a busy mom, and I want to show that women can do it all. Like, you can work and you can be a mom and you get to take care of your babies and have dinner on the table. Like, you can do everything that you want to do. But it is a lot, and you do have to find that balance or you're going to go crazy. And to me, you just prioritize. That's the number one thing. The kids come first, and everything else is secondary. And if the kids are always first, then you have nothing to worry about.
I thought one moment on the show that was really, it was cool that you guys showed it, but it was when you were no longer being offered a hosting gig for one of the Country Music Award shows, and somebody literally straight up told you, they're like, there's a perception of you that you're not like a full-time country singer. And A, I thought it was so messed up that people say these things, but also B, you saw so much reaction from your fans online about that. And it was like this really cool community moment. Like, do people, is there a reward to sort of letting people see when you get like a little bit of like a kick down?
I think I wanted people to see that. It actually is a true story. It really did happen. I wanted to be involved in the award shows because I usually get to, whether it's hosting or just doing something fun. I live in Nashville. I've been in Nashville off and on for 10 years. I'm in the country music community, but it really was true. They finally got down to the whoever it was to ask, why are you not letting Jessie be a part of this? You're letting A, B, C, all these people do it. Why can't she? And the person said, she's not. She's a part-time country singer. We want full-time country singers involved. And so it really crushed me, like really hurt my feelings. And it was really sad. And someone on my team said, you should film that. Like, you should actually capture that really going down, because people don't know those things. They just assume everything's all gravy. And it's really hard. I think because I put my family first and I say no to a lot of things, and because I enjoy doing so many different other things, it's almost like I'm being punished for like being a multitasker and putting my kids first. It's like, well, you're not on the road 200 days out of the year, and so that means you don't get to be a part of this. It's just not fair. I think this is the 21st century. This is 2017. Why can't we do everything and be rewarded for that? So I was pretty upset about it, but the positive is, I don't think there's anyone that has a fan base like I do, and my girls are behind me. And so I know that no matter what goes on in that, like they always have my back.
And you've got the #1 country album in the country today.
Right now I do, yeah. So there.
I want to talk about that collection a little bit. Southern Girl City Lights is out today. And I think some people don't realize that it was 10 years ago that this first record came out. Like, this has been a buildup, and there's been a lot that's gone on behind the scenes. What does it feel like to be sitting on the other end? This has been out for 12 hours now.
It's just, it's so weird. It's weird. I've been working towards this for so long, and I've been putting out EPs, which for people that don't know, that's like 5 to 6 songs at a time. You don't really put out an album in stores. So I've been doing that for the past 10 years since my first debut album, when I was actually signed here to my first record label at Island Def Jam. And it is really crazy to be sitting here now and how much has changed. You know, at that point, I was this single girl in the city, trying to figure out who I am, so lost and in terrible relationships, always in just a mess. And to just come to this point where, how much I've grown. I'm a woman now, and it's just, it feels really good. And I feel like the music that I have to offer now, I'm even more proud of.
I sort of think, when you've been thinking about a project for so long, and we have gotten a lot of EPs, and they've done like shockingly well. And then you're thinking about getting this out. Like, did you set out any particular goals? You're like, I want to accomplish this. I want to sound like this. Or was it sort of just a free for all, seeing what happens?
I think this time specifically, I just said I want to put out songs I like. I want to put out good music, and some of the songs sound really country, and some of them sound more pop. There's even a song that sounds like a Whitney Houston 80s song on there.
I love that song.
Oh, good. Yeah. And so for me, it was like, I'm not going to try to put
That's open all night, by the way.
Yes, it is open all night. And actually, Maren Morris wrote that song, and we're on the same publishing company, so I like anything that Maren's got. I'm like, play me the stuff she's not using because it's good. But yeah, I just was like, I just want to put good music on there. I'm not going to label it, and I'm not going to force a fiddle on this because it doesn't need a fiddle, or, I'm just going to make what I want to make, because I think I'm not catering to what I'm this box I'm supposed to be in. I'm going to cater to my fan base and what I think they want to hear.
Is it weird when, like, after so many years of someone telling you that you do need to do things like according to a playbook, that there's the reward is in when you throw that out the window?
Oh yeah, I fired all those people. All those people that were like always telling me what I'm supposed to and not supposed to do. They probably thought I was the most difficult person. I just fired all those people, and have people now working for me that are not always yes people, and they are with me, and they're just as like thinking outside of the box as I am, and it's been the best decision I've ever made. Matt, he's back there. Say hey, Matt.
I love that. There's a song called "Hold a Candle" on this record that I think it's so soulful, and it like speaks to a sort of like an older generation way of singing. And I was wondering sort of where those influences come from, or where that song came from.
I always say, like, that song specifically, like, that's the real me coming out of anything I do. I think you hear me sing so many different styles because I'm just as much a songwriter as I'm a singer. I'm signed to a publishing company because I'm a songwriter. And so as a songwriter, your job is to be able to write any genre. And so sometimes as an artist, that can get conflicting because the songs you enjoy writing may not be what you are as an artist. And I have to say, out of all the songs on that record, probably Hold a Candle and A Girl Like Me are the most like, that is me. Like, that is my artistry. And I actually got to sing Hold a Candle yesterday on Harry's talk show.
Yeah.
And he had this big band and with like there were jazz players. It was so much fun, but it was a lot of fun. It feels natural.
I love that.
I'm glad you like that
I
song.
love that song, yeah. Was there one album or artist growing up who was sort of like, I want to be like this, I want to sing this with my first obsession or anything like that?
Oh, Lord, there's so many of them. I mean, everyone knows I love Shania Twain just because she, like, broke the mold and was like, I'm going to do what I want to do. But I've always wanted to be the next Shania Twain. But I think vocally and musically, someone who would, like, bring me to tears was Christina Aguilera. I was obsessed with her Stripped record. Yeah. I would listen to it over and over again. I had no friends in high school. And so I would listen to all her songs about being stronger and a fighter and I'm beautiful. And like, she was just like it was my record. And honestly, Christina Aguilera taught me how to sing. I would like listen to her notes and try to hit them. And it was I almost sounded too much like her when I first came out, that the Google searches were wanted by Christina Aguilera. People thought, because I was so obsessed with her. I've luckily formed into my own vocals, but I loved Christina.
I love that. Another surprise moment is when Randy Houser pops up on this record. He has an enormous voice too. What was it like to sort of fit both of your voices onto a song and figure that out?
I've known Randy forever. He was like I always called him like one of my big brothers. Him and Jamie Johnson, who was another country singer. They were my big brothers. They looked after me. They wrote songs with me. They were my fighters. And they were actually responsible for the first record deal I got because we wrote a song together called My Cowboy. But it was just great to be with Randy again. He does have such an amazing voice. He's one of my favorite male vocalists in Nashville. And it was just natural. We didn't even have to try to do anything. And what you saw on the show was exactly the way it happened. Like, I really did walk in and we just did it, and that was it because it was so easy.
Do you is that like an instinct of yours where if a song starts taking 4 or 5 hours, you're like, this one's not going to work out. We need to sort of like scale back and start over?
Absolutely. There have been times where there was actually this song that Kelsey Ballerini had sent me, and it's a beautiful song. I was so excited to sing this song, and I remember thinking, why didn't you put this on your record? And now I know why. It's so hard to sing. And it wasn't that it was hard vocally. It was just an interesting key. It was like really such a great song. But Lindsay Ell ended up putting it on her record, which I was like, you go, girl. It was just an interesting key. But it did. I got in there and I sang it a few times, and I looked at my producer, Dan. I was like, this ain't happening. Like, it's just, I don't enjoy singing this. I'd rather listen to Kelsey's version, like demo of this, because this is not fun. Like, feels funny in my voice. So that was it.
Another song that's getting a lot of attention is Hungry. There's a great story, obviously, about you just remembering sort of the past and where the life didn't used to look like this.
Being broke.
Being broke. What brought you back to that memory? Like, why now are you reflecting on that, I guess?
Y'all are going to laugh at this. You really are. I feel like we're all the same age, right? Or y'all are probably so much younger than me. Like what? We're all late 20s? Early 30s? Okay. So there was this song that it brought me back, and it was on the way to this writing appointment to write with Shane and Matt, who actually saw on the show, if you saw it. And there was this song by an artist named David Banner, who's this hip hop artist. And this song was called Cadillacs on 22s. Super gangster song. It was really awesome. And so I really love hip hop, and you guys probably don't even know that. But I'm like, the windows are down, and I'm just like, Cadillacs on 22s. And so then I started thinking back to me listening to this song freshman year in high school and remembering getting all those feelings. Now you listen to that song you listened to in high school, and it's like, oh, this feels so weird. I'm getting those feelings back. I remember listening and being like, oh my God, I had these feelings of like wanting to make it so bad as a singer and just all the feelings at 15 that you feel. And then it brought me back to all of the emotions. And so as soon as I walked in to the studio, I was like, we got to write a song, about this. And of course we included Cadillacs on 22s in the first verse just so I could sneak it in there. But that is one of my favorite songs on the record, and it's very, very real to me and where I've come from, but not forgetting where you've come from and still staying hungry and humble.
Is that going to be a song that you like sort of can't wait for your children to understand? Like life is going to be so different for them.
Oh yeah. So spoiled already. My Lord, I try to tell Vivi all the time, like, you don't even know how good you have it, girl. It will be very different. I'm not sure they'll ever know any different, but I will certainly try to teach them and tell them.
Maybe it's not always as specific as listening to a hip hop song and then being inspired, but how do songs generally come for you? Is it you want to set aside an hour a day, or is it always very spontaneous? You're just doing voice notes on your phone?
It's always voice notes on the phone. I'll be in the car and I just will hear melodies. And I'll just start singing them to my phone, and I'll send them to Alyssa, who's one of my best friends, who's a songwriter. I'll send it to my producer and just be like, I have this idea, don't let me forget this, just to keep track of it. But that's usually how I do it.
There's another really cute story for Pretty Girl that I just wanted to talk about, that your daughter inspired that many years ago, and now it became, a quote-unquote real song for this album.
Yeah, so I always make up funny little lullabies for Vivi, and I've posted some of them, like silly little songs. And this was one of them, and I would just tickle her feet and go, you're a pretty, 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 pretty girl. Just like that over and over again. And she loved it. She would get so excited and repeat it, started singing it back to me. And so I finally decided, like, maybe this should be a song. And so I decided it's one of the songs I actually wrote completely by myself on the record. And so I wrote all the lyrics one day super fast, and I wanted the verses to be about, when girls are super down on themselves and or you're lacking confidence or you're going through a bad breakup, and to just not forget that you're fabulous and don't let anyone take that away from you. And so I wanted to be able to have Vivi listen to that and know that.
How much responsibility do you feel to have a positive message or an uplifting message for people when they're sort of interacting with, any of your products or any of your music?
I think my main thing is always, and I think my fan base knows this, it's always wanting to instill confidence in girls. I think I realized why it was so important to me, because I really was like bullied badly in school. I moved all the time from military families and from my being in a military family, and I just really did not have very many friends. And so I remember having those feelings of walking in a room and feeling like no one liked me, or feeling like I'm going to have to sit by myself again at lunch today, just really hard time. And I don't ever want anyone to feel that way. I don't want them to ever feel like they're alone or no one likes them, or to feel as insecure as I did. Right. And so I think it's always my message of like, don't let people make you feel that way. You're wonderful and you are beautiful and you're unique. And so I think I do that through everything, my clothing line or my music or just anything that I have, I want to instill that confidence.
We alluded to this earlier, but it has been a long road to this album. There's been a lot of label shakeups, a lot of new contracts, old contracts, this whole thing. To sort of see the numbers and how it's moving today, do you just feel like this was the right journey? Do you feel like vindicated in some ways? Do you feel like you found a home on Epic where this came out, the whole thing?
I think for me, I swear I'm not trying to be phony and cheesy when I'm always like, it's because of the fans, it's the fans. And I know people say that all the time, and maybe, I don't know if all the artists really genuinely mean it, but I genuinely mean it. It is because of my fan base. It has nothing to do with anything else. I can tell you that right now. The reason why it's doing well and my music is doing well and succeeding I don't have the support of the communities that I'm around in the music industry. I just don't. It's because I don't do things the way you're supposed to do it. It's doing well because of my fan base, and they believe in me, and they continue to buy the music, and they continue to come to my shows and give me sold-out shows. It's because of them, and I'm just so grateful. So that's why I forever just want to cater to what my fans want.
I love that. That's all from me. We're going to take a few questions from the audience.
Yes.
They've been waiting patiently.
Hi, thanks for being here. Huge fan. So besides your own songs, what is your go-to karaoke song?
My go-to karaoke song is probably "I Want You Back" by Jackson 5.
Hi. I'm a huge country music fan, but I primarily listen to male artists, like the boys singing to me, I guess. I was just wondering if there was any male singer that you have not yet collaborated with that you like kind of have the bucket list aspiration to sing a duet with.
I feel like I've already sang with all the men I want to sing with. I've sang with Randy Houser now. Billy Currington, I've got to sing with him. He's one of my favorites. And I got to sing Picture every night with Kid Rock on tour. So I feel like I've hit the nail with every single one of the guys I've ever wanted to sing with.
And then we have one more right here.
Hi. Thank you.
You just coming on up. Hey.
So you were talking earlier about how you've been able to do so many things in your professional life as well as your family life. And I was wondering what advice you would give to young women who are trying to achieve all of those things.
To achieve all those things, big question. I always feel like I believe in like good energy, you know? When you put goodness into the world and you have a positive attitude, I really think the world gives it back to you. I think when you have a positive attitude and you just do good things, I really think good things happen back. But you also have to have a lot of ambition and drive, and you have to not be afraid to fail and get right back up. And I was a lucky girl to have an amazing mom, and I know a lot of girls don't always have that. But I was fortunate enough to have a mom that was always pushing me, going, "You can do it, Jess. Like, don't let this get you down, or just keep going." And so for the girls that don't have that mother in the ear going, "You can do this," I want to try to be that voice, say, just keep it in your ear. You can do this. Like, no matter what, if you don't think this is possible, it is possible. It's been done before, and if it hasn't been done, you should be the first.
You guys, that's all for today. Southern Girl City Lights is out now. Thank you.